Hello and welcome to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We start with Ruben Neves of Wolverhampton Wanderers as manager Xavi never saw the 47 million euro rated Premier League midfielder as a fit for Barca. We are going to be discussing on that as we move ahead. Secondly, talking about this transfer report claiming that Barca have lined up three alternatives for Xavi's preferred midfield target, Marcelo Brozovic. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Since Xavi took over the reins at Barca, his say has mattered a lot in the transfer strategy for Barcelona. The puppet master foresaw 12 signings after taking over mid-season in the 2021-22 campaign, while some players were simply considered stopgaps. In compliance with the club's financial situation, Xavi never had a problem with the profiles being acquired, believing there could be some upside to the players at his disposal. However, it appears that Ruben Neves, who was previously highly linked with a move to Barca, never gained enough consensus from the coaching staff. As talks between Al Hilal and Neves advance rapidly, Alfredo Martinez has come out to claim that Xavi never saw Ruben Neves as a player for Barcelona, opposing his signature despite clear inklings of a potential signing. The midfielder had already agreed personal terms with the Barca board, which was indicative of the club's interest in him. Even so, Xavi's disinterest in the Portuguese stemmed from the fact that he was not a priority for the positions he had shortlisted. Requiring a pivot striker and creative interior, Neves' profile was more akin to Frankie de Jong rather than Sergio Busquets, which meant he was almost entirely a luxury signing. Taking the Catalans' delicate finances into account, obtaining Ruben Neves meant signing a great player, but with no immediate role in the squad. As Al Hilal have entered the Saints with great interest in Ruben Neves' services, the likelihood of Xavi breathing a sigh of relief has risen. Even so, Barcelona are yet to finalize the signing of a midfielder and now run the risk of concluding the season without any reinforcement in midfield. Of course, we know midfield has been a position that has been prioritized, more specifically the defensive midfield position, as Captain Busquets have announced he will be leaving without renewing his contract. Ruben Neves has been one of those players that we have been talking about a lot that have been linked to Barca. And the truth of the matter is, with Ruben Neves, it was clear that the person who was pushing for a move was President Joan Laporta. Laporta really wanted Ruben Neves to join, even though nothing has been said about that recently. But from the look of things, any potential move for Ruben Neves has totally collapsed. And it was clear that manager Xavi Hernandez did not agree with Laporta on that. Ruben Neves now is closely linked to Saudi Arabian giants Al Hilal according to latest reports, and that have come as a sigh of relief for manager Xavi. Barcelona continues to show interest in a host of players linked to the defensive midfield position, the likes of Martin Zubimendi, which was Xavi's preferred option. According to reports, it looks now so impossible as Sociedad have refused to even negotiate with Barca, and the player himself does not even want to join Barcelona in the first place. And so, Barca have removed him from their wish list. Then players like Joshua Kimmich, which was also high on Xavi's wish list, has been perfectly ruled out. Of course, Joshua Kimmich have not ever said he wants to join Barca. He really wants to stay at Bayern. He have made that clear in recent interviews. And also the price tag is really high. If Bayern rates that guy at 80 million, how dare Barca go for that player? They can't even dare. Even 40, Barca will not. If Barca is stressing to even pay for Vitor Roque for 40, what more of an 80 million euro player? It's just so impossible, is it? So Barca, now we are in a position where our life is all about free agents, free agents, free agents. I think it's a shame. But it is something not in our control. It was how the club was. It have been in the past few years since the COVID-19 pandemic under Bartomeu. This club have been ruined big time, and all the errors in the past from the previous presidency is now haunting the club big time. So let's see what happens. Victor Roque is close to Barca, as Barca are trying to get their first priority, but for the defensive midfield role, there is no player that is certain that he will join. Ruben Neves, who was linked there, has been ruled out, as Xavi never even wanted him in the first place. And talking about players now like Sofian Amrabat, another player that is looking so close than ever to joining Barca, but Barca are so slow in negotiations with Fiorentina, as the club is waiting for Barca to make a statement. So far, nothing has been said, but for sure, Xavi have already emphasized that a new DM is an utmost priority for Barcelona this summer. Then moving on to the final story of discussion, with Barcelona on the lookout for a new defensive midfielder to replace captain Sergio Busquets. Manager Xavi Hernandez continues to insist on the signing of Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi. However, there are several challenges that the La Liga champions will encounter in pursuit of the 24-year-old. For starters, Zubimendi has a release clause worth 60 million euros in his contract with Real Sociedad, and he does not wish to leave the club either. As such, Barcelona have lined up three possible alternatives in case they miss out on Martin Zubimendi's signing, according to Mundo Deportivo. And the three names on Barca's wish list will consider in that scenario are Marcelo Brozovic of Inter Milan, Guido Rodriguez of Real Betis, and finally Sofian Amrabat of Fiorentina, although the latter is said to be well down the shortlist at Barcelona's camp. The report states that the La Liga champion see Marcelo Brozovic as a technically sound player, experienced player, and good positional sense. The Catalans had tried incorporating his services in the January transfer window when a swap deal involving Frank Kessié was discussed, but nothing came of it. As for Guido Rodriguez, the 29-year-old could be sold by Real Betis this summer and is a player that interests Barca, even though they consider him to be a few levels below Zubimendi. While the Argentine is capable of recovering balls, his distribution skills leave nothing to be desired. Finally, Amrabat is seen as final option, despite other reports suggesting that the 26-year-old is at the top of the shopping list, why after Zubimendi and Joshua Kimmich. While the club staff values his physicality and ability to regain possession, there are doubts about him being able to withstand pressure from the opposition. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.